Is muscle soreness a good thing? And perhaps the craziest challenge ever from ATHLEAN-X. I'm going to cover it all in this video. What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. Got three things to cover in this video. I mentioned two in the beginning, but I want to talk about soreness, muscle soreness, because I get a lot of questions about whether or not it's a good thing and whether we should train with it or not. So I want to cover that. I also want to tell you about perhaps one of the craziest challenges ever, not done by me, but someone that submitted it in, and I'm going to tell you a little quick story about that, and then tie it all together with these three bottles that are sitting in front of me, okay? But first, let's address muscle soreness. Now, the question is always on people's minds, should I train with muscle soreness? Is it a good thing? You know, I don't know whether or not I should work out if I'm feeling sore. Here's the key thing, guys. You got to differentiate what is the soreness, okay? Are we talking about muscle soreness or are we talking about joint and tendon soreness? So a good way, I feel, a quick, easy way to sort of tell you guys how to do that would be to locate where the soreness is. If you can say, like for biceps, that you feel pain after training, and generally, again, if it's from your workout and doing good muscle damage, it's going to probably come in that 24 to 48 hour after the workout time period. But if you can touch somewhere in the actual muscle and feel the discomfort, more than likely it's going to be because of your workout, and that's a good thing. If we're talking about the extreme ends of the muscle, so down here or up here where the muscle either originates or attaches, not really a great thing. More likely you're shifting it now towards a tendinous injury, something that you should probably stay on top of, or maybe the best treatment would be to get out of the gym and rest, okay? Most often with overuse injuries, that's the case. Same thing like down in your, let's say you're training your calves or you're running outside on the sand on the beach and your calves were sore the next day. Great, that's a good thing because they were not used to the stimulus. But if you're starting to feel that lower down into the Achilles tendon, again, that slight shift is going to be a good sign to you that maybe you overdid it and did it damage to something other than your muscle. So that would be the case. Now, some people find that if it is in the muscles themselves, like let's say from leg training workout, it actually benefits to do something really light. So if you have, hit your legs hard with weights, the next day really sore, or 2 days later you're really sore, it can actually benefit your legs to go take a fast walk just to get them working so you get some blood flow there, because the blood flow will help to eliminate the lactic acid. Finally, there is one other way you could do it. You could, if you had somebody around you, had them move your limb through space. So again, if you're having shoulder discomfort, so right here, you're not sure if it's delt or whether it is inside the shoulder capsular joint. If you raise your arm up yourself, okay, and it hurts, it could be either joint or muscle pain. If someone else then comes and completely passively raises that arm for you and you still have pain or discomfort, then you've probably got joint pain, okay? Because we're taking the muscles out of the equation. So if you got somebody around to help you out, let them do that, and you might be able to differentiate whether or not you have something to work through or something that you should not work through. All right, now that we've discussed soreness, let's talk about guys that have definitely created soreness here with this insane challenge. I'm going to read just a little bit of an email that was sent to me and then sort of break down the most important part and how that sort of transitions into the RX supplements. Someone wrote in to me, Jeff, I hope you're able to read this. My friend and I are 18 years old. We've been following your program since AX1. Truly respect your knowledge, creativity, craft with fitness. Thanks for the compliments, but we've been taking your RX supplements like it's our religion. And I can honestly say that they are without a doubt the best supplements on earth. We've tried everything on the shelf. Nothing compares to the purity, power inside of these three black bottles. Great. And that's not a plug. They're not being paid to do that, guys, but this is the email. So the important part, with that all in mind, we got inspired by the challenges in ATHLEAN-X. As you guys know who follow our programs, we have ATHLEAN challenges built right into each and every week of the workouts. We decided to push ourselves to an insane challenge. It definitely falls into the realm of overtraining, but keep in mind this is only done once and absolutely not weekly. It was inspired by your 300 workout. 143 reps of pull-ups, assisted pull-ups, guys. 143 reps of 95-pound deadlifts, 143 push-ups, 143 box jumps on a 24-inch platform. It goes on and on. I'll put the whole letter down in the description here below. But the point is, he did that 3 times, each time within an hour. So you're looking at a 3-hour workout, which is about 2.5 hours longer than I recommend, and 3,003 total reps, which is God knows how many more reps than I recommend. However, he acknowledged that it was crazy. We've already gotten through that. But he said, I'm sure if you read this far, you're convinced that we're mental. You said it, not me. And the truth be told, we are, but we are smart with our supplementation. He took his pre-workout beforehand, okay, one scoop beforehand. He took 3,000 reps later, he took 2 scoops of the post-workout Accelerate. Went home and took 2 scoops of the recovery shake, and they crashed, and they were out until later that evening, asleep I'm assuming. They took 2 more scoops of the reconstruction, and they fell asleep until the next day. The crazy part, he said, besides the challenge, was they were not sore. Not sore like at all. My only guess is it had to be the supplements. It's true we trained hard, we trained long, but it would have been one or the other without your supplements, motivation, inspiration, a little insanity. So here's the point that they're brought up, guys, is there is a connection between muscle soreness and recovery. Obviously, the faster you recover, the quicker you can get rid of muscle soreness. Supplementation, I believe, that's one of the strongest places that supplements play a role. Now, for those guys who know anything about anabolic steroids, first of all, you should know they're incredibly dangerous. You should stay away from them with your life. The fact of the matter is, mechanically, the way they work is by speeding up recovery, almost making muscle recovery a non-issue. Okay, these guys that abuse anabolic steroids are basically training and training and training and training, but because their recovery is almost instantaneous, they can accumulate these high volumes, and that's how they see the results. For us guys that avoid that stuff and look for natural ways to get bigger, get stronger, get faster, we have to look at ways we can improve our recovery. So muscle soreness is an important issue. It's not something to be ignored. With the RX supplement series, my biggest priority when I created these was to what can we do to address muscle soreness. We know that we have to elicit muscle soreness to have some sort of a stimulus to get bigger and stronger. So with a pre-workout, you want to be able to have the necessary intensity, go at your workout and give it a good effort, because that's where you give the stimulus to create some of the micro damage in your muscles that will promote recovery, that have to be recovered, right, in order to get back bigger and stronger. So you take care of that. In the post-workout, you want to have a supplement that will initiate that repair process quickly, right, because you have a completely different environment inside the muscle cells after a workout than you did before. Your post-workout is critical to try to initiate that repair process. And I think the biggest, most overlooked aspect of supplementation and recovery is what you do before you go to bed. We've talked about stretching, and I think you should do your stretching before you go to bed. I also think that supplementation, high-grade protein, have the nutrients in place to be able to help the repair process, especially when the repair process kicks in the most, which is when you are sleeping. It's all part of the process, guys. The right supplements can easily improve your rate of recovery. And if you can improve your rate of recovery, the rate that you can get rid of muscle soreness, the faster you can come back and train hard again. So a long video here. I hope you stayed until the very end. But the key point is muscle soreness. Is it a good thing, bad thing? I think it's a prerequisite to making improvements. But how you deal with that muscle soreness and how you approach it from a holistic standpoint, it's really important. And again, ATHLEAN-Rx for me is what I use, and apparently here with these guys, these crazy guys, I gotta give them credit. Nathan S. Wine, congratulations, you came up with the craziest freaking workout I've ever heard in my life. But you survived, and thank God. All right, guys, that's it. I will be back here with more videos. Leave your questions, because it's guys like this that spark these sort of videos and ideas. So if you have a question yourself, let me know, and maybe I'll cover it here in a video. In the meantime, if you haven't tried the ATHLEAN-Rx supplements, guys, you're going to want to try it. You know, experience the sort of effect that these guys have, and you can get these at ATHLEAN-Rx.com. All right, guys, I'll see you back here in just a couple days.